Welcome to Mindful Objective, the podcast where we explore the root causes of modern health concerns and practical solutions from an integrative lens. I'm your host, Dr. Daniel Sproul, integrative health practitioner and professor. Today's episode is something that impacts nearly everyone, yet goes undetected until a system spiral. That is blood sugar swings. And no, this is not just about diabetes. Even if your labs come back normal, if you're dealing with brain fog, fatigue, cravings, mood swings, mood changes, belly fat, energy crashes, there's a good chance blood sugar is playing a role. As always, this show is for educational purposes only. We do not diagnose, treat, or cure any illness or disease. Let's go ahead and break it down. When people hear the term blood sugar issues, they often think of diabetes. But blood sugar dysregulation doesn't require a diagnosis to cause problems. In fact, many of the symptoms people deal with daily, like low energy, poor focus, frequent cravings, or 3 p.m. crash, these are all signs of sugar swings. Here's the kicker. These swings can happen even when your annual labs are telling you they are normal. Let's start understanding what blood sugar actually is. Blood sugar or blood glucose, this refers to the amount of sugar, glucose circulating in the bloodstream at any given time. Your body naturally wants to keep the number in a tight, heavy range, not too high, not too low. Glucose gives your cells energy, especially your brain and muscles, but for it to work properly, your body needs insulin. Insulin is a hormone made by your pancreas that helps shuttle sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells. It acts like the key that unlocks the door to your cells so they can absorb and use glucose for energy. When your blood sugar spikes, usually after eating carbohydrates or a heavy sugar meal, your pancreas releases insulin to bring things back down. The system actually works beautifully until it doesn't. Here's what many people get into trouble even without having diabetes. Over time, due to high stress, processed foods, poor sleep, hormone imbalances, or not moving around enough, your body could start to respond less effectively to insulin. This is called insulin resistance, and it leads to those up and down swings that leave you feeling drained, foggy, and constantly hungry. And it doesn't take much to throw this system off. Drinking coffee first thing in the morning without food, skipping meals, having a bagel or granola bar for breakfast, or dealing with chronic stress. All of these things can trigger blood sugar spikes and crashes. Now you might be thinking, but my doctor said my glucose levels are fine. That's where functional medicine steps in. In conventional care, the reference range of fasting glucose is usually 70 to 99, but with functional health, we look for optimal ranges. Again, we're just not looking within that range, we're looking for optimal. And optimal is often between 75 and 85. We also run fasting insulin, which most doctors skip. And even though it's one of the earliest markers for metabolic dysfunction, many people have completely normal glucose and A1C levels. But their insulin is already climbing, silently working harder to manage unstable blood sugar. This is what we mean by subclinical blood sugar dysregulation. You're not diabetic, you're not even pre-diabetic, but your body is sending signals that just aren't quite right. Those signals can include feeling shaky or irritable if you go too long without eating, waking up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. It's a cortisol spike from low blood sugar. This is very common. Needing caffeine or sugar to function in the afternoon. That's like everybody we know. Craving carbs and sweets even after meals. Experiencing brain fog or trouble focusing, especially late morning or afternoon. Gaining weight around the belly despite trying to eat healthy. This is why blood sugar balance is foundational. You can't out-supplement or out-exercise unstable glucose. You have to get to the root. All right, that's what we do here. We look for that root issue. Mindful Objective, we offer lab testing to evaluate your fasting glucose, fasting insulin, HbA1c, and even do organic acid testing, which reveals how your body measures sugar at the cellular level. We take that data and build a personalized support plan, food, movement, stress reduction, targeted supplements, if needed. Our goal isn't just to normalize your lab number, it's to help you feel sharper, more stable, and in control of your body again, right? We want to get you to that healthy state. One of the biggest misconceptions about blood sugar problems is that you have to be a diabetic to experience them. This is simply not true. Some of the most common and frustrating everyday symptoms chalk up to being older, being tired, or having busy brain are often rooted in unstable blood sugar. Here's the reality. Blood sugar swings don't always show up as dramatic crashes or fainting spells. Often they manifest as chronic, low-grade symptoms that build slowly and become part of the normal. Is this your normal? It's unhealthy normal. Many people live with these symptoms for years. They never realize that their glucose is a roller coaster and it's the center of all the issues. So let's break it down by category. Emotional symptoms. This is often a first clue. You might feel fine one moment and anxious or irritable the next, seemingly without a reason. Ever snap at someone or felt unreasonably overwhelmed right after a meal? That could be your blood sugar dropping. Most instability, especially when tied to hunger or meal timing, is a strong sign that your body isn't regulating sugar. Chronic anxiety, racing thoughts, or emotional reactivity can all be intensified by unsteady glucose levels. Then there's sleep. Many people wake up between 2 to 4 a.m. and wonder why. Is it a habit? This is often due to blood sugar dip that triggers cortisol spike and bring those glucoses back up. The result? You're wide awake, your mind's racing, even if you felt exhausted when you went to bed. Now there is cognitive symptoms. These also a lot of times fly under the radar. Brain fog is one of the common complaints we hear in our practice, and unstable blood sugar is often the root cause for that. You might find yourself reading the same sentence, forgetting what you're about to say. These issues aren't always about attention span, it's often about fuel. Your brain relies on a steady supply of glucose, and when it dips or spikes, your mental clarity does too, causes issues. Another would be physical. Blood sugar swings can leave you exhausted. You may feel a burst of energy after a meal only to crash an hour later. How often do we feel that? A lot of us do. Or if you find that even though you're eating all the time, you're still always hungry, especially for carbs and sweets. Weight gain around the belly, especially when paired with cravings and fatigue. This is another classic sign. We see it a lot. And the most frustrating part, most of these symptoms are dismissed by a normal medical doctor. When people do go to their doctor with these concerns, they're often told their labs are fine, or worse, they're offered anxiety meds, sleep aids, or stimulant prescriptions, even with never checking the fasting insulin or blood sugar response curves. At Mindful Objective, we approach this a lot differently. We listen closely to your symptom patterns and how they change throughout the day. Do you feel wired and tired at night? Do you crash after eating? Do you get hungry or hangry if you go more than a few hours without food? We also take the guesswork out of running functional labs that include fasting insulin, glucose, A1C, cortisol panels, and even organic acid tests. These labs give us a full picture of how your body's handling sugar, stress, and energy production at the mitochondrial level. And once we identify those patterns, we tailor a support plan just for you as an individual. It might involve adjusting the timing of your meals, teaching you how to pair foods to avoid glucose spikes, and guiding you through stress management practices to reduce cortisol surges. We also offer targeted supplements like inositol or berberine. These are both have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity naturally. When clients start supporting their blood sugar, even if they're not diabetic, they often notice dramatic improvements. What are some of those improvements? Clearer thinking, more even moods, less food obsession, improved sleep quality, and better energy throughout the day. Most importantly, they feel more in control. And that's the real one, because when your energy and mood aren't dictated by your blood sugar dip, you get your life back. So now let's move on to understanding what actually works. So let's get into one of the most powerful tools for regulating blood sugar. That is food, and just not any food, but real food. The way you eat has a direct, immediate effect on your blood sugar. Each meal either stabilizes you or sets you up for a spike or a crash. The good news is you don't need to cut out an entire food group or live off of grilled chicken and lettuce to balance your blood sugar. I've been there before, but you need to understand how to build your plate intentionally. First, let's talk about what causes blood sugar to rise. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates break down into glucose. That includes not just sweets, but baked goods, but also white rice, bread, pasta, juice, cereal, granola bars, even smoothies and oat milk. I know a lot of people out there are drinking oat milk. When you eat these carbs alone or drink these carbs or in large portions, they rapidly enter your bloodstream. They'll spike your glucose and force pancreas to release a surge of insulin. This leads to the familiar crash afterwards when energy, mood, and focus all plummet. What's the secret to balance this? Slow that spike. You want to blunt how quickly sugar enters the bloodstream. And the easiest way to do that is by combining carbs with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. These nutrients slow digestion and reduce the speed of the glucose is absorbed. Here's a simple formula that actually works. Always start your meal with non-starchy vegetables, fiber. Add a good source of protein, eggs, chicken, fish, grass-fed beef, lentils, or even a clean protein shake. Include a source of healthy fat. Olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, ghee, coconut, and a easy way is just tablespoon, teaspoon of olive oil. It's not bad. Then and only then add moderate amounts of quality carbs, ideally from whole food sources like sweet potatoes, quinoa, beans, or fruit. Even something as simple as starting your meal with a salad or a few cucumber slices can reduce the glucose spike for the rest of your meal. Let's go into some real life examples here. Breakfast, most important blood sugar choice of the day. If you start your meal with a bagel, fruit juice, or even healthy smoothie packed with banana, mango, oat milk, you're spiking your blood sugar before the day begins. I know somebody that's listening to this right now is going to be like, yeah, that's me every morning. Is he talking about me? But not talking about anybody specific. This is just very common. So, what does that do? That meal right there, that sets you up for a crash before lunch. Instead, try this like a veggie omelet with avocado, Greek yogurt with chia seeds and berries, a smoothie made with protein powder, spinach. You can put frozen berries in there, almond butter, and flax seeds. One thing I do as soon as I wake up, 25 grams of protein. I do that with a shake. First thing I do before I eat anything. Next would be lunch. Skip the sandwich and chips combo. Man, that's like the best food out there. I'm a hardcore American, love my sandwiches. But instead, grilled chicken or salmon on a large bed of mixed greens with olive oil and sunflower seeds. Lentil soup with a side of arugula, lemon vinaigrette. A grass-fed burger and a lettuce wrap with roasted veggies and a few slices of sweet potato. One thing to do is once you start having stuff that's like lettuce wrap, such as a burger or grilled chicken sandwich, say you do that on lettuce wrap, you do not miss the bread. So I know there's a lot of people that love bread out there. It's very easy to give up once you start getting on that health kick and you realize, and man, I need to make change for long term. It just gets easier. With dinner, keep it simple, clean, satisfying. Baked salmon, steamed broccoli, and quinoa. Turkey stir fry with coconut, cauliflower rice, and bok choy. A lot of people don't know about bok choy, but bok choy is very good for you. Grilled tofu with zucchini noodles and pesto. Watch out for those hidden sugars and sauces, especially in salad dressings, packaged health foods. Granola, protein bars, yogurt, pre-made smoothies often contain more sugar than a donut. Even something labeled as low fat is likely to be higher in sugar, and it's just made for the taste. And often out there, so many people eat just salads. Look at the actual salad you're eating, especially if you're going to like a restaurant. Look at the calories of some of these salads, then look at the calories of a fried meal. Sometimes those calories are higher in the salad because of what's in there and the dressing you're putting on that salad. And one of the key things we always say to do, and everybody probably gets tired of hearing it, is eat whole foods. Learn to eat less processed foods. Again, you want to enjoy life. Once in a while, have a snack, right? Say you do love granola bars. Once in a while, have a granola bar, but just not every day. So you can't be perfect, but do what you can to change your lifestyle. You want to live longer, be healthier. So you got to make those changes. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but do your best. Oh, the other thing too, do not skip meals. Skipping meals or having long gaps between eating may sound like a good idea for weight loss, but it can backfire for blood sugar stability, especially if your metabolism or adrenals are already stressed out. Instead, aim for balanced meals every 4 to 6 hours unless you're on a personalized intermittent fasting plan based on your labs. Different lab testing out there that shows a lot of people that do intermittent fasting, it's damaging to their body. Again, what's good for one is not good for the other. You hear so much about you need to intermittent fast. Some people, it's detrimental. So just keep that in mind. At Mindful Objective, we don't just give a food list out and send you on your way. We help you analyze how your current meals are affecting your energy and focus. We develop a personalized blood sugar balancing meal strategy based on your lifestyle and habits. We use functional testing to look at glucose, insulin, and even organic acids to reveal nutrient deficiencies tied to blood sugar metabolism. Another thing is create customized food tracking tools that don't rely on calorie counting, but instead focus on timing, quality, and your macros. So that food tracking we have you do, it's not always about those calories, unless you're starving yourself, but outside of that, what are the macros? How much protein are you getting? How much carbs and sugar are you getting? That's all what matters, not just calories. We make food work for you, not the other way around, because when your meals support steady glucose, your whole day improves. Mental clarity, physical energy, mood, and even your hormones. Again, it's not about perfection. It's about building meals that work for your biology, not against it. And you have to eat stuff you like. If not, you're never going to continue on that meal plan. We want you to enjoy life, and you do that with the food you like that are healthy for you. While food is the foundation of blood sugar and balance, sometimes diet alone isn't enough. This is especially when your system has been out of balance for months or even years. That's where supplements and functional lab testings come into play. So let's start with labs. Most conventional doctors will run fasting glucose and possibly HbA1c. So these are useful, but they only tell part of the story. They often miss early signs of dysregulation. At the clinical level, they look at once you have the disease. On the integrative health side, we look at subclinical, where we look at signs of dysfunction before they become a disease. So HbA1c, right, this reflects your average blood sugar over the past 2 to 3 months, but it doesn't show how your body handles individual meals or stressors. Fasting glucose, this can fluctuate and doesn't reveal what's happening with insulin. In Mindful Objective, we run functional panels that include fasting insulin. This is one of the earliest markers of blood sugar imbalance. High fasting insulin levels can show 5 to 10 years before prediabetes is diagnosed. So think of that. Another one is fasting glucose. Ideal level, you want to be between 75 and 85 for optimal function, not just the normal. HbA1c, we like to see this closer to 5.0 or 5.3 instead of 5.6 or higher. Organic acid test. This reveals how your cells are processing carbohydrates. Those show mitochondrial function, B vitamin status, and markers of metabolic stress. Cortisol rhythm. This is via saliva or urine. This is used to assess how stress is affecting your blood sugar. So focus on functional labs and your symptoms. Let's get you on track with your nutrition and say, hey, how are these foods affecting me? Is it just that you needed to clean up your diet and you feel like a new person? Often, I would say like 95% of the time, it's running food sensitivity test, organic acid test, aligning proper nutrition, proper supplements for filling in those gaps. And people feel like a new person after 90 days or so. Once we identify imbalances, we build a personalized plan, and that's where supplements can help fill those gaps. Here are some of the most effective blood sugar support supplements we use in our practice. Number one, most common, berberine, often called nature's metformin. Berberine improves insulin sensitivity, supports glucose metabolism. It also helps reduce inflammation, can support gut health. Best taken before meals or in divided doses. I usually take it twice a day, morning and evening. For me, it works great. I notice a difference after about a week. Other people, it takes a little longer. Other people do not have the same without increasing their dosage. All depends how your body's reacting to your insulin and what you eat on a daily basis. Another one is myo-inositol or D-chiroinositol. These are both excellent for blood sugar balance, especially in women with PCOS or insulin resistance. These compounds improve ovarian function. They'll reduce androgens and enhance insulin signaling. It's a great one. Another one is magnesium, glycinate or malate. Magnesium is needed for over 300 enzymic reactions, including insulin regulation. Low levels are linked to insulin resistance, high blood pressure, and also fatigue. ALA, alpha lipoic acid, this is another common one. It's a powerful antioxidant that supports insulin sensitivity. It also reduces oxidative stress. Also helps with nerve health and also blood sugar issues. Another one would be chromium picolinate. This supports carbohydrate metabolism and enhances insulin action. Often included in blood sugar and support blends. You'll see this in a lot of products out there. Another common one is cinnamon extract. This has been shown to lower fasting blood glucose and improve lipid panels. Works best taken consistently with meals. One thing I would say too about berberine is I do a lot of trial studies myself. And one thing that helped a lot with cholesterol too was that berberine. What works for one does not always work for the other, but I could give it a try. Another one would be fiber supplements like psyllium husk. This can help slow glucose absorption and improve insulin response, especially when whole food fiber intake is low. It's a lot of people. Important note, while these supplements can be helpful, they aren't a replacement for food or lifestyle changes. They are supportive tools, best used in a targeted short-term fashion with practitioner guidance. So at Mindful Objective, we don't just throw supplements at the problem. We assess labs, symptoms, and your personal health history to find the right combination of nutrients that support your goals. Many clients come to us having tried random blends they saw online or bought on Amazon, only to find they didn't help and made things worse. Stop buying just stuff because you saw it on TikTok. But that's why we offer a discount on professional grade supplements through our platform. up to 20% off retail, lower than most online retailers. And everything we recommend is curated and dosed specifically for your needs and vetted by third parties. By combining the right labs with the right support, we help you take the guesswork out of your health journey. Blood sugar regulation isn't just about avoiding diabetes. It's about improving how your body works every single day. More energy, fewer cravings, sharper thinking, better sleep. It all starts with balanced glucose. And I'd say too is a lot of people, we keep going back to this, berberene's a great product, but a lot of people that do get on berberine tend to lose weight. And the reason they're losing weight is they find out they have insulin resistance. They were never told. So they get on berberine twice a day, 500 milligrams twice a day, we'll say. And they notice, hey, after a couple weeks, I'm dropping weight for the first time ever. What is that? Because maybe it's curbing your cravings. Maybe it's controlling your insulin, and that gets you to weight loss. It all depends on your specific body. All right, now let's get on to next. If you ever felt stuck in a loop from energy crashes, cravings, anxiety, or belly fat despite eating pretty healthy, you're not alone. That cycle is often driven by unstable blood sugar. The good news is you can break it. And while food is the foundation, lifestyle plays a powerful role in long-term glucose stability. Let's start with one of the simplest, most effective habits: walking after meals. A 10 to 20 minute walk after eating can significantly lower post-meal blood sugar. Why is this? It's because your muscles use glucose for fuel. By getting up and moving, you reduce the amount of sugar that stays in your bloodstream. It's so effective that one of the first recommendations in functional integrative health for clients with insulin resistance and prediabetes, we recommend it all the time. You don't need a gym, just a sidewalk, a hallway, a few laps around the office, and lately it's the perfect weather for this. So you're done eating, you're full, go take a walk. Next up, another one we always harp on too is hydration. Dehydration raises blood sugar. When you're low on water, the glucose in your blood becomes more concentrated, which triggers a stress response. Aim for half of your body weight in ounces per day. And even if you're more active or live in a hot climate, bonus tip, start in the morning with a glass of filtered water and a pinch of sea salt or electrolytes. It helps support adrenal function and stabilize your system before a bite of the first food. Next one, let's talk about stress. It's in all of our lives. Cortisol, your body's stress hormone, raises blood sugar. It's part of that fight or flight response. Your body thinks you're in danger and gives you a sugar boost to fight or run. But if you're constantly stressed, what is that by? Emails, deadlines, traffic, social media, parenting, sleep deprivation. Your body keeps releasing glucose even when you don't need it. That's all of us. That's why people with stress-heavy lifestyles feel more like their energy crashes out of nowhere, or they find they can't lose belly fat despite eating well, or they wake up wired at 3 a.m. Chronic stress keeps blood sugar and insulin elevated. Over time, that leads to fatigue, hormone imbalances, and weight gain. I've been there. I struggled with all of this. But what can you do? Start your day without checking your phone immediately, right? This is tough. This is a bad habit of ours. Give your body and brain a calmer transition into the day. Use breath work or guided meditation for 5-10 minutes. Even once per day can regulate your nervous system. Take movement breaks throughout the day. Short walks, stretching, few squats. This helps reset stress hormones. You want to prioritize sleep. Aim for those 7 to 9 hours every night. Even one night of poor sleep can spike insulin resistance to the next day. Let's not forget about caffeine. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach can trigger cortisol surge. And what does this do? This will raise your blood sugar, of course. If you're sensitive, this can start a cascade of crashes, cravings, and also mood swings. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy coffee, but always pair it with food, right? Maybe drink that protein shake first before your cup of coffee. At Mindful Objective, we often have clients shift their caffeine timing or pair it with protein and fat to reduce the impact. A popular topic in blood sugar management is intermittent fasting. That's all we hear about. While intermittent fasting can be a helpful tool for some people, particularly men with those stable hormones, it's not right for everyone. Women with hormone imbalances, thyroid issues, or high stress often find fasting makes things worse. Gives them more anxiety, sleep issues, and intense cravings. This goes on the men's side too. I hear a lot of men have the same issue. But that's why at Mindful Objective, we never take that one-size-fits-all approach. We assess your labs, symptoms, and your goals before recommending any fasting protocols. Some clients do great with a simple 12-hour overnight fast, such as 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Others may need consistent meals every 4 to 5 hours to keep blood sugar and cortisol balanced. And one of those things, and again, I never look up this author, but that Eat for Energy book, one of the things he mentions in there is a lot of people have all these issues with not being able to lose weight or maintain their weight or having issues with weight in general because they're not eating enough. They're not eating often enough. Too much of these videos are saying intermittent fasting or fasting is good for everybody and it's causing more health issues. So again, what's good for one's not good for the other. And you don't know until you try it, right? You could, let's say you're not doing functional labs. You decide you want to take some of this knowledge and test it out. Try eating every 3 to 4 hours for 2 weeks and seeing how your body does. See if you lose weight, you tone up, if you feel better. Or maybe you're one of those people that need intermittent fasting. It all depends on your individual body. We also help clients track progress in meaningful ways, not through obsessive calorie countings, but through energy logs and oftentimes different food tracking apps. We want to customize lifestyle roadmaps, right? Stress support supplement protocols like adaptogens, L-theanine, those are good. Meal timing strategies we'll touch on. Recovery tools for better sleep and hormone balance. So in short, we make the process sustainable, not extreme, no shaming, just practical, proven tools that work in real life for a real person, a real individualized person that is you. Again, what works for one does not work for the other. So stop comparing yourself or stop watching about or reading about specific diets because that diet may not be for you. And you may need to pick and choose 50 different diets to get your nutrition. But that's why we test. Because when your blood sugar is stable, everything just feels easier. Your brain works better. You feel emotionally regulated. You stop craving sugar constantly. And your body finally starts to respond to the changes you're making. You don't have to live on a roller coaster. We're here to help you step off that roller coaster. So now let's wrap up this episode of Mindful Objective, the silent impact of blood sugar swings, which is a major thing for a lot of people. As always, this show is for educational purposes only. It's not meant to diagnose or treat any health condition. Please consult your licensed provider before making any health decisions. But if you're curious about your own blood sugar and how it might be impacting your energy, mood, or weight, visit mindfulobjective.com and explore our discounted functional lab packages and one-on-one coaching. So thanks for listening, and remember, blood sugar isn't just for diabetics. It's for anyone who wants to feel better every day. Stay well.